now, and the important part is that I have been involved into the various levels of the teaching, starting from the knowledge levels, skill levels, and the professional levels. So it was an immense pleasure to have you guys on board and allow us to do this seminar, or this webinar rather, I would call. So, friends, what I'm going to do, I'm going to divide this session of 1 hour into three major part. Like what exactly the ACCA is, uh, in terms of professional opportunity, in terms of academics, in terms of what you can say, in terms of institutions. That is the one thing. Second thing is that uh, what is a way to get through the ACCA exams? What are the levels? What are the teaching requirements? How the exams are conducted? And the third is how the EduPristine, as an EduPristine, a gold partner to the ACCA, helps you to, smoothen out your journey uh, with every aspect, in terms of the teaching wise, in terms of the finance that involved, in terms of the commercials that involved, everywhere. And the last session we'll keep it on the Q&A, where we'll take up the question and answers in detail. In I will request, uh, if you have any questions or anything that you can immediately post, I'll take it up in the collection at a time, in the internal, when we are shifting from one phase of the subjects, one phase of the seminar to the another phase. So that's how we're gonna conduct. And if you have anything which needs to be addressed immediately, you may raise your hand, and I'll try to take it up. But make sure that if it is not an immediate, then please requesting you to post your question, so that, because many times it happens that same questions can be asked in a multiple manner by the multiple students, so it gets automatically addressed. So yes, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna share my presentation. Now I'm gonna do the small screen sharing, which has a detailed understanding of the entire walkthrough of our seminar. So yeah, so this is the presentation. Basically, it has a ACCA at a glance. Give me a 2 minute. Just give me 2 minutes. Let's understand what ACCA is. So ACCA, the way it stands, okay. So what do we call the ACCA? Is basically Association of Certified Chartered Accountants. Uh, this per se, it is mentioned over here as an 180 plus presence in 180 plus countries. But technically speaking, It is across the globe. We have some infographics. You can see that where all the presence of the ACCA by the way of some partnership or by the way of some recognized uh, agreements. So this is headquartered in London, and that's why many time it has been interchanged as a CA of UK, which is globally accepted. Member numbers have been slightly updated in the recent database, which stands around almost 210,000 members across the world, and student numbers have increased also significantly, somewhere around 550,000 students. In terms of the network, 89 offices and the active centers, recognized and respected by the, you name the biggest employers across the industry, across the globe, and they have the partnerships. And this is being recognized in 1914 or 1904, so it's almost 115 years of proven existence. 80% of employers says that ACC helps to grow their business by providing accountant with the skills and capability they need. And of course, a Forbes 500, 89% of Forbes 500 and 75% of the Forbes 2000 company employ ACCA members and the students. So if you see the global offices, it is everywhere. Technically, you name except for the China and Russia region, it is everywhere. Uh, because China and Russia are like a relatively closed economy, so ACC couldn't get the footfall over there. But yes, and in the recent last couple of years, they have done the extensive partnership with the other bodies also, like in the Canada. In the Canada, but they have tied up with the CPA Canada, and there is a pathway. So you name it and you have the countries available. Eligibility criteria. So it's very simple. Massive apologies, team. I got dropped because of some connectivity, some technical issue. So here we say. So for if you have completed your graduation, there is a direct entry. Also, if you are graduated from other streams like arts or commerce, arts or science, then also there is no restriction. You can have a direct entry. Only thing is that it has to be from the recognized university, and nobody does it other than recognized university. So the passing entry is pretty simple. No rocket science, no nothing like MBAs or something. Uh, how the ACCA professionals helps the professionals. So the way I mentioned, it is recognized by almost 10,000 approved employers, and some of the some of the key testimonials. Uh, I have it here. So ACCA is a global reputation, means that the members and elected officials are regularly invited to play a part in developing the profession at regional and international level, creating or influencing policies that impact the individuals and business. ACCA and its member play a key role in building the global accountancy profession, working in many other bodies. So I would put it like this: there are many international accounting bodies like IFAC, International Federation of the Accountants, then Confederation of the Asia Pacific Accountants, like which is called as CAPA, then EFRA, EFRAG, which is European Financial Reporting or Advisory Group, Asian Federation of the Account, AFA, and Federation this Export Compatibles, compatibles of Europeans, so FEE. So you name it and you have the partnership. So basically what all it means to say, when you are entering into this curriculum and you are entering into this academics, you are opening your avenues to the global career on a massive scale. It's not just confined to the one geography or one the domain of it. Now career opportunity is not confined, again the way I mentioned. It's like you talk about manufacturing industry, service industry, or accountancy profession, anywhere you talk, and you have the this thing. So how this works, let's go. What are the employers? So in terms of the employers are KPMG, all the big fours are the key employers. In India, so for example, I'll give you how the big four works. So if you are not even planning to move outside India, in India, they have their global delivery center, which is called as GDS. And in GDS, what happens? Say the KPMG or the maybe EY, UK wanted to have some sort of a accounting and advisory related services, and because India is a nation where they get a very good quality of resources at a very economical cost, so that UK or EY or Deloitte will give the work to the India EY and Deloitte, and there you will have to deliver to your internal customer, which happens to be the UK Deloitte. So there, this in the GDS domain, I have seen the many of the people. Even I'll give you the few a few indicative names who are actually working in the GDS. So that's a career. That's a career. In employers, big four accounting firms are the key. If you see, these are the PwC, EY, KPMG, and then besides that, there are, yes, all the big names in terms of the global brands. It is there. So what our customer says about what they have to say as an ACCA. So Deputy Dean, undergraduate study, Faculty of Business and Accountancy, University of Malaya, that's a Malaysian based university. Globally recognized qualification like ACCA enables our graduate to excel in their future accounting, finance and management careers. This is a wonderful opportunity for the students to excel at a global level. See, wherever you mention, wherever you see the testimony comes out, saying that it's a global opportunity. It's a global opportunity. So that's where your scope, that's where your base is getting reached out to the globe, across the globe. This additional qualification not only give them a significant advantage in a highly competitive field of finance, but also confidence and skill to realize the potential and necessary leverage for a successful career. Employers has to say about is like ACCA develops the core finance and accounting skills, uh, aligns them into exceptional level of efficiency, General Business Manager, Shared Service Center, Asia Pacific, BAT. Julie Spillines has to say that Accenture has a strong links with the ACCA. In fact, Accenture being a very approved campus or the what you can say employment partner, we see growing an importance of the organization focusing on the complex value-added activities. So, EMEA Director, Shared Services, Accenture, Ireland. Members has to say about ACCA is a very well recognized qualification and internationally known. And the global impact, global aspect of membership had always attracted me, as I always saw the huge advantage, the technical skills that comes, the qualification, and suspected on the respected around the world. So these are the few success stories. Now let's so this is what the ACCA is all about. Now let's see how the ACCA as a curriculum works. So what I do, friends, here, I'm gonna take a pause, and I'm gonna see whatever questions that I have come up. Uh, if anybody has raised the hands, let me see that also. If anything needs to be addressed, then I'll see whether it needs to be addressed or not. So nothing here. Let me take you straight away to the your ACCA career pathways. How does it work? So these exams are divided into three levels. One is called the knowledge level, second is a fundamental levels, and a third is a professional level. So I have a question I wanted to ask about the movement to Canada after ACCA. Sakshi, these questions will be addressed at a later stage. Meanwhile, if you have whatever we covered so far in terms of the employment and everything, we'll definitely take it up. And let's focus more on the academics so that you'll get a flavor of what you are approaching and what you are pursuing. But I'll definitely have noted down this question. I've kept it open and I'll take it up in the later part. You have all the connectivities around that. So the way this syllabus, I'm going to talk a little bit detail in the about syllabus, so you'll get an understanding what the syllabus is all about. So first is determined as a knowledge level, but certain people who are coming through the professional or the exemption route, they don't have to appear for that. But still, let's understand what the paper is all about. Hi Vasik, I have allowed you to talk. What is your question? You can ask me.
I have 12 classes online, tuition classes.
Which one? Can you be a bit louder, Vasik?
Then I have my 12 online classes, tuition classes, compulsory.
Vasik, I'm so sorry, I'm not able to hear. Can you do one thing? Can you write down your questions and then I'll address it? The knowledge level is basically accountant and business. So it says that uh, just wait a second. Just wait. Accountant and business is a first paper. Now, what does it mean? Like when you are pursuing your curriculum as an accountant, when you are getting into the real world as an accountant, what are the aspect of the business that you should know? So, say for example, what is our organization system? In which organization, which environment the organization is operating? What are the organization dynamics? Like what is the hierarchy in the organization? What is the level of reporting? What is the systems? What are the processes being followed? So all those basic fundamentals are to be learned here and to be tested here. Then second is a management accounting. Management accounting is simple, which is traditionally referred as a costing. But yes, cost and management accounting is a new concept where different techniques of how to manage the material cost, labor cost, overheads allocations, then how to determine the cost per unit, how to determine the budgets, how to calculate the variances, how to explain the variances. So those all things will be here. F3 is a financial accounting. Yes, what you have done till 12th is your bookkeeping, like what debit and credits. But financial accounting is a little bit more than that. It deals with multiple aspects of the accounting. So like, how to recognize the revenue, how to take care of the self-balancing ledger, how to prepare the financial statements, how to prepare the financial statements of the companies, then purchase ledgers, subsidiary books, multiple things, property, plant, and equipments, like how your assets should be recognized. So this is knowledge level. Now, way the knowledge level papers are. So the paper pattern for the knowledge level papers are, it's all MCQs, and you will have to. It's divided into three sections: Section A, Section B, and Section C. Section A consists of 30 marks MCQs, one question of, 15 questions of 2 marks each. Then section B is like case study based questions. So you have a case studies. Uh, each case studies will be followed by the 5 of the questions, or maybe 6 of the questions, and each questions will carry 1 mark, or maybe depending on a combination of 1 or 2 marks, something like that. And section C is technically saying that it's a pretty comprehensive case studies where you have a multiple response question. You will have to do lots of calculations, but it will not be forming part of a main answer. It will be like a MCQ only. So that's how it is divided. So 30, 30, and 40, and no options. All the questions are compulsory. Once you clear all these papers, or if you are through with your exemption route, I've uttered it many times, but I'll explain you what exemption route means and what are the exemptions available. So once you move to the skills level, or which is called an applied skills level. So what is the meaning of the knowledge level? Knowledge level is basically you are acquiring the knowledge of the subjects. Then when you move to the applied skills level, it's like whatever knowledge that you have acquired, that needs to be applied into the real life. So typically questions here: assess, implement, identify, something like that. And the typical questions at the knowledge level is calculate, determine, work, work around, solve, something like that. Okay. And when you move to the skills level, you have the 6 papers. All 6 papers are compulsory. F4 is a corporate and business law. Now this law paper has a multiple variants because laws are not same in the every country. So variants per se, it has a UK variant, it has an Irish variant, it has a couple of like Mauritian variants. But generally people prefer to go for the UK variant because UK variants of the law is exactly because Indian law systems are adapted from the UK. So people prefer to go for the UK variant. So here you will learn about like contract act, corporate acts, sale of goods act, and multiple things. Then you move to the performance management. Performance management is nothing but the advanced version of the F2, which is a management accounting. So like once you know how, what are the key concepts of the management accounting, how you're going to implement in your real life and evaluate the performance of the organization. So that's where this comes into the picture. And again, it is a little bit of the advance of the management accounting only, with a certain of the new components. So say for example, if you talk about performance of the service organization, so of course besides you don't have the like a traditional performance evaluation system like what is the input output ratio, but for service organization it is a different, like what is a recovery rate. Let's say if you're talking about the metro stations kind of the service organization, so there you will always think like the queuing time of your customers who are standing in the ticket windows should be optimal, should be minimal, so that your turnaround ratio for the customers that you can serve will be a very good. So that's all aspects will be covered here. It's called the performance management. F6 is a taxation. Again, tax is different for the different geography. So once you have to opt out depending on which geography you like. So again, UK variant, Irish variant, Malta, then you have the Singapore, Mauritius, African taxes, and multiple. So Indian taxations are not part of it, but yes, it includes both direct taxes also, indirect taxes also, individual taxation, and corporate taxation. Then papers F7 financial reporting is advanced version of F3 financial accounting. So again, whatever you learned at the financial accounting level, you need to apply it at the very comprehensive manner at a financial reporting level. So here it will be like you will be given a situation like you are into this particular situation, and how you're gonna approach, how you're gonna apply your skills that you have learned at the F3 level. Then audit and assurance. This is a new introduction. So everybody must be aware that every company has to get their financial statement audited, depending on the nature and depending upon the size of the organization, whether it's a listed organization. So how the actually the auditors works, how what is the role of the auditors, what are the things to be audited, how the financial statement should be audited, everything will be covered here. And this is a global, so like it doesn't have any variance. So only variation paper comes into the skill levels is F6 and F4. Then you come to the last paper, which is financial management. So how to manage the finance of the organization. So it talks about like from where you should raise your funds, whether debt, equity, or the preference shares, or maybe some new methods where to apply your funds. So capital budgeting kind of the techniques. When you own something, whether you want to reinvest into your business, or whether you want to give it back to your capital providers. So that is what the financial management. Now these six papers are compulsory, but you can appear it in any combination. uh, so say for example, if you want to, somebody is very comfortable with the theory, so he was like, okay, let me first pick it up the theory papers. So technically F4, F6, and F8 is a majority of the theory paper, whereas F5, F7, F9 is a more of a practical. It involves a lots of solving of the questions. So you can take any combination of it. If you like you want to do all the practical papers at one go, so you can take up in that manner also. No restrictions, but yes, you can do any permutation and combination. Now how this paper are designed. So again, it is three section, section A, section B, section C. Section A, again a multiple choice question, but little complicated than what you would have experienced at your knowledge level. Section B, again of the 30 marks, but it will be a pretty comprehensive case studies, and it will have a maybe two questions or three questions of 5 marks each. That like that there are two case studies, so 3 into 5, 15 into 2. So that's what. And the section C here comes with a constructed response question, where you will be provided a real life situation. You will have to solve, you will have to write. And now all these papers are the CBE, that is called a computer based exam even in India. So you should be familiar with the key concept, some of the important concept of the spreadsheets, word processing. So everything. So say for example, if you have to write the narratives about the answer, so you will be provided with the word tool in the exam. You will have to write it down. If you have to solve the questions, you will be provided the spreadsheet window. There you will have to solve the exams. Passing marks are 50% for each subject, and it's a paper wise passing. Once you are through with all the 9 papers, you are qualified to go to the professional level exam, and this is like a final level of your exams, which is divided into which is divided into spread it across 4 papers, but divided into two: essentials and options. Now essentials is like a very basics of it. It is a compulsory, you don't have a choice over there. So that's called a strategic business leader. So I would put it in this manner: strategic business level is all combination of this F1 to F9 at a very advanced level. Now, how the question quality and the question approach gets changed here. So here you will be asked to treat. You will be considered as a very expert in the domain, and you will come out with. You will be provided with a scenario where there is a lots of problems are there. You will have to assess, you will have to identify the problem, you will have to give the recommendation to your management, You will have to come out with the solutions which would have been the situation in the real life. So that's what the professional level exams. So the quality, the way here the questions will be like assess, recommend, write a report to the board of directors, provide the solution, evaluate, something like that. So it's way beyond calculation. So now what would happen here, like the calculation will become a subordinate part of your exam, subordinate part of your answer. So calculation will be like a supporting. So say for example, if your management wants to take up a one particular project and they come across a certain challenges into that project, so how to overcome that particular challenges, what are the approaches and the solutions that you have, that you would have learned from paper F1 to F9. Now here the paper pattern is like this. You are provided with the 4 questions of 25 marks each, all constructive response questions. You have to write everything. So say for example, you prepare a project report. So project report will be like an introduction paragraph. What is the purpose of the project? What are the calculations you have? What are the studies that you have done to evaluate the calculation? And then you come up with your conclusion to the respective or respective audience who have appointed you. So SBL is a strategic business leader. It involves risk, governance, reporting, organization structure, all these aspects and put together. SBR is a strategic business reporting. It is a very high fundu level of a financial reporting, like applying the accounting standards. If so, now you are a professional. You are sitting at a professional level. So your accountant has done some mistakes. Now you have to rectify those mistakes at the time of audits, at the time of financial statements. How you present your financial statements, all those things will come up here. So these are the two compulsory paper. Then you will have to elect an option. So options are advanced financial management, which is a advanced version of the financial management. Then advanced performance management, again advanced version of the PM. Advanced taxation, advanced audit and assurance. So this completely depends on the aspiration of the candidates. Many times students says that no, I want to settle my career with the big four, so they prefer to go for performance management and audit and assurance. Sometimes they want to go for the big corporates, so they prefer to go for the performance management and financial management. Someone who wants to get expertise, like settle down in the abroad and get expertise into the CA forms, so there they opt for the advanced taxation. Once you are through with all these papers, you becomes an ACCA affiliate. Then you will have to complete your 36 months of practical experience. Now, what is the important part about this experience? It need not to be like a dedicated articleship. Even if you have worked for the 36 months, like along with your studies. Say for example, morning you are doing going to your college, but in the second half of the day you are working somewhere in the field of any of the subjects. Say for example, as an accountant, or as a tax preparer, or as a audit manager, then it will be counted as a 36 month of experience. Only thing is that you need to do is that you have to get the simple certification from your manager who is out there. So for example, you are reporting to a chartered accountant, or you are reporting to the MBA who is in finance, and you just have to get a certificate from there, submit that certificate online portal, and your practical experience requirement will be counted upon there. And there is a one very critical module which every member has to complete, which is called a ethics module. Now see what happens when you come out with the flying colors in these exams, but when in the real life situation you will be provided with the cases, you will be coming across many challenges. At that point in time, besides applying your fundamentals and technical knowledge, how good and strong you are demonstrating the ethical principles. So say for example, hypothetically I'm saying that you may be having an opportunity to operate in a business which is may not be accepted by the certain societies. Say for example, dealing into the drugs or kind of the thing may be regulated in the some of the societies, but may not be accepted in the some of the societies. So whether you should be going for that, how lucrative it is, how better it is, irrespective of that, you need to demonstrate it. Say for example, if your seniors are sometimes pushing you to do some sort of a manipulative practices, then how you're going to react. So that will be tested like an online live case study. Once you are through with that, you are ACCA member. And yes, you can use your name as a Mr. So and so, comma ACCA. So that's your career pathway. Now, this thing I have mentioned, there are people who are already qualified, or you are already completed their graduation. You have certain exemptions here. Say, for example, if you are a chartered accountant from any country, you have the exemption till paper F9. If you are like a graduate, you have exemption till paper F3. So we'll see those exemption that is being covered in a different, in quite detail. So this was the more about the ACCA curriculum. Now I'm giving you the pause here. If you want to have any understanding of the subject, please let me know. If you want to understand like how, what is a anything about the subjects, anything about this particular slide that is in front of you, please let me know. I'll be more than happy to answer. I don't think so. I'm getting okay. There is a one question that come up. So can you tell about the timing of experience with study? I didn't get this question. Can you help me with a little bit elaborative question? Can you tell about the timings of the experience with study? I I I don't understand. So you are saying that correct me if I'm wrong. You are asking whether at the time of studies also you are working. So whether that will be counted as a practical experience. My answer to that is yes. It has to be a 36 months anyhow, and make sure one has to ensure that it is more of a full time rather than the part time kind of the practice. So yes, that will be counted, and along with the studies this can be managed really well, because majority of the students that I've seen in my career of 7 years of teaching, it's always like they are working somewhere and they are coming for the classes over the weekends, and we conduct the way we conduct the classes is also over the weekends, so that your weekday schedules are not disturbed, either of your college or maybe your uh, work or the job wherever you are. So I'll with your due permission, okay, with your due permission, I'll move forward to get a little deep dive into practical life of ACCA academics that we have seen. Some of the ACCA success stories. At the beginning of the session, I mentioned the GDS. GDS is a global delivery center. If you see Abhishek Agarwal, Arun Adya, all these people are into the big four, uh, and they are doing it exceptionally well. So these are the quite experience thing that we have talked about. Now, typically, if you were to talk about the international mobility in this academics, I think there was a one question from the Sakshi. Like, I wanted to ask about the movement to Canada after ACCA. So let me tell you, Sakshi, the ACCA has a very good recognition agreement with CPA Canada, which is evolving, not a full-fledged recognized. But what happens, say for example, if you take a career, say for example a KPMG India, and they have a very good presence across the world, or maybe the EY India, it has a very good presence in the world. So you have a flexible, ample mobility. You keep spending your time at the international assignments, and if you at any future date you determine that you want to come back to India, you will come back with some different distinction to your academic. So this, and why this is possible, because you have done that level of curriculum, you have done that level of academics, and that's why it helps you to give that international mobility. And with respect to Canada, there is a mutual recognition agreement with the CPA Canada, so you can go there. opt for the CPA Canada, it will be a dual advantage for you after doing ACCA. So yes, it is possible. Primarily, ACCA is recognized in European countries, because European country also has a very limited chartered accountants, and that's where it comes in the picture. So international mobility is one of the key concepts. I have seen many people have done the ACCA and they have moved to the Australia and New Zealand. So again, that's like an open geography for you guys. So it all depends on which career path that you opt for, where you want to be. So that's where it makes all difference. So what are the domains? What are the domains that it has? It's not a conventional chartered accountant only. So it involves at a multiple domain. So it involves at a corporate reporting, leadership management once you grow to the senior level, strategy, how the business strategies are formed, uh, then financial management, sustainable management accounting, taxation, audit, assurance. If you are joining like a big force, governance, risk and control, stakeholder relationship management, professional this thing. It involves lots of things. Like nowadays, you must have seen that there is a mergers and acquisitions. People are acquiring the business. People are doing the investments. How to do the investment in a very efficient manner. Cross-border transactions. So everywhere you talk the name, you talk about the wherever the finance are involved, and you can be there. The life of ACCAU. Okay, so that's what I have to say. Now the ACCAU. What are the ranges of the salary? Let me tell you, these numbers are slightly updated, upgraded, which is not captured here. But in India now the basic range starts from somewhere around a decent 6.5 lakhs. If you talk about a UAE, I have seen many people, many students of mine who come down from the UAE to do the ACCA with EduPristine, and they fly back and they settle down over there with the CA firms or the corporates, because UAE per se doesn't have any chartered accountancy curriculum. So uh, they go there, and the range of the salary is starting somewhere easily from 8 to 9 lakhs to 25 lakhs. Salary in UK is 20 lakhs to 30 lakhs per annum. USA 30 to 80 lakhs. In Singapore 70 to 21. Singapore has a very good tie with ACCA, with the Singapore Chartered Accountant. Again, Australia is not mentioned here. Australia is also lucrative. So when you see these kind of the packages as a starting packages, I am saying, you will realize like what is the investment that you are doing, which I'm going to take it up in the next subsequent portion. And then you realize, no, like this is really worth, because you have your all the investment getting back to you within a span of a 6 months to 12 months. And then yes, rest all is up to you. And there were many publications also in the articles. You can simply search it out. So this is the global career job opportunity that I have been talking about. Auditors and the tax seniors, internal auditor or statutory auditors, securities dealer, financial planner, tax manager, consultant, management accounting executive, financial reporting executive. You can start it from anywhere. Now let's talk about certain exemptions. Okay, so what are the exemptions that you have? Say for example, if you are a chartered accountant from India, and India CA has a recognition agreement with the ACCA, so you don't have to pay, you don't have to appear for all the 9 papers, and you will have to pay the exemption fees of for all the 9 papers. Now this exemption fees uh, is around 20 pounds for each paper. So it counts upon quite easily somewhere around 180 pounds. But how, when you are tied up, when you take this curriculum with the EduPristine, this gets further reduced. So it has an additional advantage in terms of the commercial also. IPCC, if you have done the IPCC, you are exempt with 5 papers or equivalent CA Inter. So 5 papers are exempt. If you are an MBA, it is, sorry, If you are an MBA, currently doesn't have the any curriculum that you get an exam is a law, and then okay, then if you talk about ICWA, all the papers till F9, excluding F5 and F8, which is basically financial reporting at a very advanced level. If you have done the Australian CPA, US CPA, or UK CPA, Canada CPA, you have 9 papers exempt except for F7. BCom, only 4 papers are exempt because this is still a graduate kind of the academics. So this is what you have an exemptions available. Uh, Before I jump into the how EduPristine helps you, I have a few more questions on my board. Let me try to address that and see whether it helps. uh, okay, so after sorry, extremely extremely sorry. After ACCA further studies, I honestly see that once you are done, you don't require to do any further studies unless and until your organization demands you to do that. Like many organizations, when you move up to the very senior level, they want you to be an MBA or something. But yes, at least for the immediate span of a 10 to 12 years, you don't require to do, and this will give you an ample opportunity. Sakshi, your question is that you mentioned that the KPMG and the other big fours are the employers, but can you discuss a little more about the kind of the job offered? So, as a beginner, as a fresher, you would be joining as an executive, either as an audit executive, tax executive, management accounting executive, or the accounting executive. Then as and when you demonstrate your career, your likings, you will start growing up the ladder. It is as good as the chartered accountant's job, but you will get an across the world. It's not like confined to the India. So if I were to say, because I am being an Indian CA, I am being an ACCA, I know how the differentiators are. So Indian CA is very good in terms of uh, catering to the Indian corporates with the Indian boundaries predefined. But if you are planning to go abroad, many times people have to take a multiple routes. Like they have to go to the US and do the masters. They have to go to the US and do the some sort of MBA. But here you don't have to do, and you can get into the any of the role. So I my recommendation here is that when you are qualified, try to identify a corporate which has a global, like an MNC. Okay. And once you are into that, because I've seen one of my students with whom I'm in touch with, he has joined an organization called Genpact, and he has been traveling almost at every place. So majority of the UK, Europe, he has traveled, and he is thoroughly enjoying it. So it is most important that you opt for the career, identify the companies in a such a manner which will help you to align your career. So like I'm a person who loves to the travel along with the work. So that's the reason I have opted for that career. So yes, that's what my answer is. Then MCOM and CPT, honestly, what happens? MCOM is at par with the BCom. So you will have only 4 papers exempt. Unfortunately, foundation papers doesn't have any exemptions. But I have not seen the recent updates on the exemption boards. But as of now, for the timing, you consider that you have only 4 papers exempt as an BCom or the CPT, or the BCom/MCom and CPT. So yeah, that's what my answer is. And if you have any other thing, please let me know. Otherwise, I'll take you through what as an EduPristine helps you to get through this curriculum, how that is distinctive compared to the other players in the industry. Okay, so no other question. So EduPristine, I mentioned. Okay, duration of ACCA, full fee structure, when will become a ACCA member or members in ACCA? Is there any exams? Of course, you have an exams and timings of the classes. The way I mentioned, the classes are always on the weekends, and classes are always on the weekends, so that you don't get hampered with your weekday schedule. Duration. See, generally, I've seen the students appear for exams are conducted 4 times in the year: uh, March, June, September, and December. Majority of the sitting comes in the month of June and December. Now, the way it works is like this. Uh, Typically, the students appear with 2 to 3 papers at a time. So if you are, say, for example, starting from your 12th standard, by the time you reach to your graduation, I mean, after 12th standard, and if you reach to a graduation, you're almost done with the 9 or 10 papers, and you're left with the 2 to 3 papers. So a decent duration of the three years is more than enough. If you are way above average and a very exceptional in your grasping capability and everything, then you can do it in the 2.5 years also. But only thing that matters is that you will have to be mindful about your practical experience also, so that you get it. Full fee structure, I'll explain you. There is a very detailed slide. Slides are there when it comes to the subsequent page. So let's park it for that, and then we'll take it. So EduPristine is a member of Athalem Global Education. It's a New York listed entity. Uh, Athalem has a 3 billion, almost a 20,000 crores company, having a 9 institutions, companies with 16,000 employees spread across 145 locations. Athalem takes pride in teaching and training almost 150,000 degree seeking students. And where the EduPristine has a forte, it's founded in 2008, and leading training provider in marketing, analytics, accounting, finance, and healthcare. And it's EduPristine being the first Indian organization get awarded with the gold partner from the ACCA. A network of 50,000 plus alumni students, 4 major cities in India, faculty pool of 600 plus industry experts, soft skill training. So besides your technical skill, technical training, they invest a lot of time in your soft skill training. So what we'll see, what are the soft skill training? So it involves career counseling, classroom teaching also. They have the online teaching also. They have the full support in registration of the ACCA, award-winning study material, Gold Certified Publisher, which is called Kaplan, 100% placement assistance after completion of the exam, mentor assigned to the each student, 100% support during the program, career service including soft skill training, mock interviews, and resume building. What are the soft skill training? So here it is. See, once you learn the fundamentals, everything is good, but you need to have a capability to demonstrate, to make it visible to your line managers, relevant stakeholders. So they help you with the speaking skills, self strength and weakness analysis, the communications, communicate one's thought with clarity, openness, understands the impact one has on the others, presentation, feedback, inquiry. All the skills and trainings are be provided along with your curriculum, and there is no extra charge for that. And it is always goes in hand in hand with this. So there are four platform. One is a learning management system, which is like you can view the course structure, course schedule, detail of upcoming sessions, required study material, everything, which will be provided to exclusive to the ACCA students. Soft skills are not included in the ACCA curriculum, but it is provided as an add-on by the EduPristine, so that when you come out with the ACCA qualified, you are ready study material for get placed on the board. And when you have imparted the soft skills training, you have a definitely a distinctive upper hand in the eyes of your prospective employer. Post queries and discussion forums, there are 24 hours forums open where you can put your questions, queries, and it will be addressed within 24 to 48 hours. Then after course engagement, also get frequent seminar and webinar updates during and after course, and support team. In case if you have any difficulties, doubts, you want to take up a revision lecture after your academics gets over, then you have enough, you can request for that and the revision lecture will be set it up. Now how the faculty works, so the way I mentioned, I've been with EduPristine from last 7 years. In terms of my organization experience, I'm working with Reliance Industries from last 3 years, and overall experience is 10 to 11 years. And every time, now every session, there is a feedback is asked from the student on the different parameters of the faculty. So ability of the instructor knowledge, coverage of the key concepts, solving the relevant examples, conceptual clarity, and on that basis the feedbacks are given, and the overall feedback so far has been around 4.8 out of 5. So for example, if the faculty is not up to the mark and the feedback is overall feedback is falling below 3 or below 4, then it will be immediately bring up to the notice of the faculty. They will be asked they will be asked to refine their training, content delivery and everything. If it is on the repetitive, I have understood that they have gone to the level of where the faculty itself is changed, so that student satisfaction is utmost priority here. You don't have to worry about that, and they are the topic experts, industry experts, and they come out with a very decent and 100% comprehensive knowledge about the subjects. Placement assistance I mentioned, interview preparations, resume building, placement leads. So there is a sorry, there is a distinctive placement board is there, where you will be notified with respect to your likes of the jobs whenever they get any open jobs on the placement board. And they have a tie-ups with the ACCA also, though whatever the ACCA job portals comes out with, that also gets notified to you. So yes, how to build your resume, how to write your resume. There is a expert who is sitting on the counselor team who is having experience of 10 to 12 years. So this all things are covered. Now, course highlight, if you see, there are live classroom training and online training. Both works in a similar manner, except the online training is what we are doing now. But otherwise, the same faculties who are expert, study material, test series. Then you talk about almost a thousand hours of the live uh, classroom trainings as well as the online trainings, practical experience, quiz assignment. I myself do a lots of quizzes, mock papers online. If you are doing a live classroom training, you can access the online papers, download the study material, study notes. You will be provided with the study material also on a regular basis, as and when the you are moving to the new subjects. Online training is basically to facilitate, like, may not be possible for all the students across the India or outside India to come down to the live classroom location, and that's the reason there is a online trainings are there. And the recordings are provided, so that in case if you have missed it, you can uh, you can listen to those recordings after the classrooms. Even if you have attended that, you will be provided with those recordings, but it is available only in the online trainings. So yeah. And how to get yourself trained is basically the way I mentioned. ACC EduPristine is approved gold learning partner, and that's a continuous base. Now, if you see the fee structure, there was a question. Uh, Knowledge level, you have a 69,000 rupees only, which includes a training, books, tutorial, mock test. So 69. Then skill level 150, which is around 200,000, 2 lakhs rupees, and professional level 1,25,000. So 3,25,000 plus the overall examination papers, examination fees plus registration fees, including cost you another 150,000. And that puts together your total investment is not more than 6 lakhs. And the way I mentioned, you can recover it at the first year itself, once you get a job in that exam, or once you get the job in that field. And if you are taking an exemption route, definitely your examination fees per paper gets reduced depending on the exemption that you avail. And basically, once you are through with what you can say, ACCA examiner, sorry, EduPristine, then there is a special discounts available for the a reduced examination exemption fees. So that is also in a different advantage you have. So overall investments, I don't consider for the time being uh, what you can say the exemptions, because that depends on the students to students. So maximum investment that you would be doing is around 600,000, which includes everything: your examination, registration, examination, onboarding, study material, training, books, mock test, whatever you say, it includes, and you can recover everything in the 1 year itself. The way I mentioned, exams are now conducted 4 times a year, and all the exams are the computer based exams, so no handwritten. So it's like a real life scenario, because see, when you actually do the job, you don't require to write down everything and solve it. You will have to do it everything in the computer. So this again aligns with the what is actually the ask of the practical life rather than just an academics. So that's where it is. There are multiple payment modes are available. The counselors will get in touch with you for that. So yeah, now I think whatever I had to say from my end, I am done with that. I open up this question, this forum for the question and answers. Will be more than happy to take up, uh, whatever questions you have. Will be will be more than happy. So I'm opening up this forum for next 5 minutes. If you have any questions, if you want to ask any question, if you want to raise the questions, anything you have available, will be more than happy to answer. Okay, there is a confirmation that one student is clear about it. Anyone? So do we have to pay the exemption fees if we are CA and straight away give the profession? So Sagar, with respect to your questions, I my answer is yes. My answer is yes. Once you are a CA, you will have to opt for the exemption, and you will have to pay the exemption fees. Now, if you pay the exemption fees directly on your own, it will be higher. I think around 30 pounds per paper. But if you do it through the EduPristine, it is reduced. It is a discounted, and that discount depends on the scheme that is being run by the ACCA. But yes, you enroll yourself directly for the F9, professional level papers. So the approach is like this: you have to submit your all the documents to the EduPristine. So process is that you will have to submit your documents to the specified authority, to the email address. They will evaluate and they will grant you an exemption. Once the exemption is granted, your exemption fees invoice will be generated. You will have to pay those exemption fees invoice, and then only you can appear for the subsequent exams. So again, don't have to take all this process related headache. It will be taken care by the EduPristine. So again, it's completely it's all flexible. So yeah. Any Thank you, friends, for allowing us to to present ourselves in front of you. I'll open the polls now. Request you to provide your feedback with respect to the polls, and then we are good to close our session. Sagar, I hope I have addressed your answer to the question that you have raised. Friend, I have launched the polls. I request if you can answer to those polls will be a great help, because we do the constant evaluation how the seminars have gone, how the seminars was useful to the students. So yes. And even after this seminar, if you have any questions or the concerns, you can always get in touch with the respective coordinators who has helped you to set up this seminar, and that can be taken up offline also. And on the top of it, if you need any subject related expertise, you can definitely put up your request to your coordinator, and they will direct it to the respective faculty. So that's how it is. So it's not like that once we are done with this session, the forum will be closed. It will always be open. We'll be in a constant touch with you to make sure that you are up to the full satisfaction of your uh, investments and the career that you have planned. So it's not only classroom trainings or the learning provision, but it's a comprehensive study coverage. So yeah, can I end the polls here? And can are we good to end the session? I once again thanks for providing us this uh, opportunity, and I'll be more than happy to look forward uh, to have you as my students. Uh, I am a faculty of all the finance related papers. So in future, if you guys are turning up, we'll be more than happy. And I wish you a very good luck for taking career decisions. Anytime if you need any support from our side, please put up a request. We'll be more than happy to take it. Thank you, and have a great day.